Okay, so we all know AI is changing everything. But the real question is, are you just trying to survive it or are you ready to actually thrive? That's what we're digging into today. Let's do this.
Let's just jump right in with a number that honestly should make you sit up and pay attention. 40%. Yeah, 40%. That's the percentage of employers who think recent grads just, well, they aren't ready for a workplace that's swimming in AI. So, what does that number really tell us? It's screaming that there's this huge gap, right? A massive disconnect between what we're learning in school and what the real world actually needs. We're facing a serious readiness gap, and we've got to figure out what's going on.
And look, this isn't happening in some simple, predictable world. We're living in what people call a VUCA world. That stands for volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. It's a lot. And AI, it's like pouring gasoline on that fire. It's speeding everything up, making things even less predictable. So, yeah, our old playbook for getting ready for the future, it's not going to cut it anymore.
Okay, so where do we even begin? It's easy to think the answer is just, oh, I'll learn the latest AI tool. But it's not that simple. The real solution, the foundation for everything else, starts inside our own heads. It's all about our mindset. You know, the author Adam Grant has this fantastic way of breaking this down. He says we tend to fall into one of four thinking modes. You've got the preacher, who's absolutely convinced they're right. Then there's the prosecutor, who's just focused on proving everyone else is wrong. And, of course, the politician, who's just trying to win people over. But there's a fourth one, and it's the real game changer. And that's the scientist mindset. This is where you treat your own ideas not like they're secret truth, but like they're just hypotheses, things to be tested. It's about looking for evidence. And here's the kicker, being totally okay with being wrong. It's a huge shift from I'm right to, how could I find out if I'm right? And that right there is the key to adapting.
But think about it. You can't have a team full of scientists if they're terrified of making a mistake, right? That's where this idea of psychological safety comes in. It's all about creating a space where people feel safe enough to speak up, to try something new, and, well, to fail, without getting their heads bitten off. You can't run an experiment if you're scared of a little explosion.
And this is so important. Not all failures are created equal. As Amy Edmondson from Harvard explains, there's a difference between a sloppy mistake and what she calls an intelligent failure. That's the kind of failure that happens when you're on the edge, exploring new territory. Those failures, they're not just okay, they're actually a good sign. It means you're innovating. Okay, so once you've got that scientist mindset and a safe space to experiment, what's next? Well, now we can focus on building up the skills that are uniquely human, the stuff that AI, for all its power, just can't replicate. These are the new must-haves in your professional toolkit. And this really breaks it down perfectly. Think of it like a partnership. AI is an absolute beast at predicting things, organizing massive amounts of information, and just scaling tasks at a superhuman speed. But us, our superpower is different. It's in the deep thinking, the interpretation, the reading between the lines. It's in building real relationships and handling all that messy, complex stuff like empathy and ethics. And let me tell you, this isn't just some nice theory. These are the skills that employers are practically screaming for right now. Solving the really tricky problems, coming up with truly creative ideas, connecting with people on a human level, making the right ethical call, and just being able to adapt on the fly, that's the new gold standard in the workplace. So that brings us to the big multi-billion-dollar question, right? How do we actually build these skills? Not just for a few people, but for everyone. Well, the answer means we have to basically tear down and rebuild how we think about the classroom. So picture this, a classroom that's less about sitting and listening and more like a workshop or a lab. Students are working with AI every single day, like it's a teammate. They're not just Googling answers, they're solving real problems that real companies are facing right now. In ethics, it's not a one-off lecture, it's part of every single conversation. That's how we close that readiness gap. All right, so let's pull all of this together. We've got the mindset, we've got the skills, and we've got a new idea for the classroom. Let's see what this vision for the future of work and learning actually looks like when it all clicks into place. Okay, if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. This is not humans versus AI. It's not a competition. We're never going to beat a machine at processing data, and we shouldn't even try. The whole point is to complement AI, to use its incredible power to make our unique human skills, our creativity, our wisdom, our critical thinking even more powerful. That shift in thinking from competition to collaboration, that's everything. That's how we make ourselves indispensable, not replaceable. And so I'll just leave you with this one final question to really think about for your own career. In a world of intelligent machines, how will you build your human advantage?